Everything you think you know about learning is completely wrong. That notebook covered in colorful highlights, it's worthless. Those productivity videos you watched yesterday, you have already forgotten. You're not learning, you're not collecting. And there's a massive difference between the two that nobody talks about. Once you understand the three-step system I'm about to share, everything changes. You'll learn faster, retain more, and actually use what you know. Let's be brutally honest. Most people spend hours consuming content and walk away with nothing. They finish a book and can't explain a single concept from it. They watch an entire course and can't apply anything they learned. They take pages of notes that become instant trash the moment the pen leaves the paper. Why does this happen? Because your brain doesn't remember information just because you saw it, or read it, or highlighted it in neon yellow color. Your brain remembers what you actually use. Think about riding a bike. You remember that because you did it, you fell off, you got back on, you practiced until it became automatic. Now think about that book you read last month. Can you explain the main ideas? Probably not. And that's not because you're bad at learning. It's because you never actually learned it in the first place. You just passed information through your head, like water through a sieve. The stuff that stays, the knowledge that actually becomes part of who you are, that comes from doing something with it, from using it, from making it real. The uncomfortable truth is, every time you save a post, or screenshot something, or add another book to your reading list, your brain releases a tiny hit of dopamine. It feels productive, it feels like progress, but it's all an illusion. You're just hoarding information, and your collection of saved content is doing absolutely nothing for you. You have gigabytes of screenshots on your phone right now, hundreds of saved videos, dozens of half-read articles, and you'll never look at 99% of them, ever again. But your brain tricks you into thinking you're learning, you're growing, you're getting better. You're not. You're just getting better at collecting. So let's talk about how to actually learn something. Real learning. The kind that sticks. The kind that changes how you think and what you can do. Step 1 is focus, and this is where most people fail before they even start. Focus doesn't mean having the material in front of you while you scroll through social media. It doesn't mean listening to a podcast while you answer emails. It means shutting down every single distraction and giving one thing your complete attention. No background music. No second monitor with YouTube playing. No phone within arm's reach. Just you and the thing you're trying to learn. I know you think you can multitask. Everyone thinks they can multitask. But neuroscience is crystal clear on this. Multitasking doesn't exist. Your brain just switches between tasks really quickly, and every time it switches, you lose focus, you lose comprehension, and you lose retention. It's like trying to fill a bucket with water while someone keeps kicking it over. Here's the move. Pick one concept, one skill, one idea. Set a timer for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of pure undistracted focus. No checking notifications. No quick glances at your phone. Nothing but complete attention. You'll be shocked at how much more you absorb in 5 focus minutes than in an hour of distracted studying. Step 2 is reflected, and this is where the magic starts to happen. After you consume any piece of information, you need to stop and ask yourself one crucial question. How does this connect to my actual life? Not your ideal life. Not someone else's life. Your real life. Because if you can't answer that question, you didn't learn anything worth learning. You just collected another piece of trivia that'll evaporate from your memory by next week. Real learning creates connections. It changes something about how you think or what you do. Let's say you just learned about habit formation. Don't just nod along and think, that's interesting. Stop and reflect. Which habit am I trying to build right now? What's the cue, the routine, and the reward? Where in my daily schedule does this fit? When you make these connections, when you tie new information to your actual circumstances, it stops being abstract theory and becomes something concrete, something useful, something you'll actually remember. Most people skip this step entirely. They consume and consume, racing to the next piece of content without ever stopping to process what they just learned. And then they wonder why nothing sticks. You have to give your brain time to make connections. You have to actively build bridges between new information and existing knowledge. Step 3 applies, and this is where everything comes together. This is where passive consumption transforms into active mastery. You have to take the information out of your head and put it into the world. You have to use it, even if you're not ready, even if you mess it up, even if it feels uncomfortable. Especially if it feels uncomfortable. Because here's something nobody tells you about learning. Making mistakes is better for your brain than getting things right. When you mess up, your brain pays attention. It marks that moment as important, as something to remember and adjust for next time. When everything goes smoothly, your brain just coasts. So don't wait until you feel ready to apply what you've learned. You'll never feel completely ready. Just start. Try it. Mess it up. Learn from the mistake. Try again. That's the cycle that builds real skill, real understanding, real mastery. And here's the bonus move that accelerates everything. Teach what you just learned to someone else. Explain it to a friend. Record yourself talking through the concept. Write it out in your own words. When you teach, you can't hide behind vague understanding. All the gaps in your knowledge become immediately obvious. You'll stumble over the parts you don't really get. And that's perfect, because now you know exactly what you need to go back and learn better. Teaching forces clarity. It exposes weakness. And it cements knowledge in your brain in a way that passive consumption never will. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop measuring learning by how much content you consume. Stop counting books read, or videos watched, or courses completed. Start measuring learning by what you can actually do, by what's different in your life, because of what you know. Real learning isn't about accumulation. It's about transformation. For every hour you spend consuming information, spend 2 hours applying it. If you read something, talk about it with someone. If you watch a tutorial, build something using what you learned. And if you study a concept, find a way to use it in your real life today. The ratio matters. If you're spending more time consuming than doing, you're not learning, you're just entertaining yourself. And there's nothing wrong with entertainment, but don't confuse it with growth. Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone. It happens when you're struggling to apply something new. It happens when you're making mistakes and fixing them. That discomfort you feel when you're trying something for the first time, that's not a sign you're doing it wrong. That's a sign you're actually learning. Most people drown in an ocean of information. They collect more and more until they can't even remember what they were trying to learn. The people who actually get ahead, who actually grow and improve and build real skills, they don't drown. They swim. They grab what they need. They use it immediately, and they keep moving forward. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not bad at this. You're just one action away from making everything click. So stop scrolling. Stop collecting. Stop saving things for later that you'll never look at. Pick one thing you want to learn. Give it 5 minutes of real focus. Connect it to your actual life. Use it today. Teach it to someone. Do that, and you'll learn more in the next week than you learned in the last month. The knowledge is everywhere, floating all around you. But wisdom only comes from doing the work. So close this tab. Pick your one thing and get started right now. Your future self is counting on you to take action today.